Hello, and welcome to this week's PennEnergy News Update. I'm Hilton Price. Turkey is looking for new places to purchase oil after cutting imports of Iranian crude following U.S. sanctions. The Turkish Petroleum Refineries Company, or Tüpraş, has inked a deal with Libya to import 1 million tons of crude oil. Tüpraş is also holding discussions with Saudi Arabia for a long-term supply agreement. Turkey sharply reduced its crude oil imports from Iran last month. The U.S. has tightened sanctions against Iran's energy sector to curb the nation's controversial nuclear program. New regulations proposed by the U.S. Bureau of Land Management for unconventional natural gas exploration could cost the country billions of dollars each year. The process of hydraulic fracturing has led to a surge in natural gas production from Pennsylvania to Colorado, but some critics have expressed concerns that the process could lead to the contamination of nearby water reservoirs. Now, the Bureau has introduced new rules that would require companies to verify that fracking fluids are not escaping from the well. Industry representatives argue that state laws already govern these concerns sufficiently. Now, a new report suggests implementing those rules could cost from $1.5 billion to more than $1.6 billion each year. A planned strike among Norwegian oil industry workers could lead to the shutdown of as many as 5 offshore oil rigs. The strike at oil services company Baker Hughes includes only 114 workers, but it precedes a much larger proposed strike of the country's oil industry workers. The strike was sparked by the decision from Statoil to cancel an employee pension program early. The national mediator has established a deadline of June 23rd for negotiations between the union and Statoil, after which the country could see its 3.8 million barrel per day oil production grind to a halt. As it stands, some of the largest offshore oil companies in the country already stand to lose some production to the Baker Hughes strike. Qatargas has entered into a new long-term LNG sales and purchase agreement with Japan's Tokyo Electric Power Company, or TEPCO. This is the first long-term bilateral agreement between TEPCO and Qatargas. Under the terms of the agreement, Qatargas will deliver 1 million tons per annum of LNG on a long-term basis starting this year. Japan is one of the biggest importers of LNG, and this announcement marks the continued partnership between the state of Qatar and Japan since diplomatic relations started 40 years ago. BP has announced it began the initial startup of the Galapagos development in the deep-water U.S. Gulf of Mexico. The development is one of a series of new major upstream projects that the company expects to bring into production this year. The Galapagos development includes 3 deep-water fields and increases the capability of a key offshore production hub for BP. The development required the installation of new subsea infrastructure, production risers, topsides, as well as other modifications. BP says it expects to invest at least $4 billion a year on oil and gas development in the Gulf of Mexico over the next 10 years. Thank you for joining us this week. For these stories and so many more, head to PennEnergy.com.